Dude, Al.
Yeah.
Al, we're live, dude.
You know what? I'm feeling what Shanky's putting down. I get it. That song is pretty jamming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered as always by the Eastern Observer. You can taste the power. Tastes great today. We got a jam-packed show today. My name is Karl. I believe we're on episode 103, and like I said, what a doozy we have for us today. Down on the bottom part of our screen, the first ever PWP champion and living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today?
Good. It's a hot day here in Jersey. We're talking wrestling, so all things are all good.
And you know it's a big show, John DeConnie, because guess who's back? We got James Wheeler back. We missed you, buddy. One of the month vacation we'd rather not be on. We weren't on vacation, pal. We were hoping you were well. We were just assuming you were swimming for the past couple Tuesdays. Glad to have you back, pal. Love to hear you when you chime in. On the top part of our screen, to my right, I guess, over on this one.
And number 4, John Smith.
John Smith, how are things today?
That doesn't get old. Things are going good, man. I'm in the middle of a stupid juice cleanse again, so if I just get up to pee, don't mind me.
Oh, I got you. I'll make sure. Don't bring the camera with you if you do that. We'll just let it. And don't be like, what was it, Naked Gun, where Frank Drebin went in and peed with the microphone. And then now we have a very special guest with us today. Ryan Joy is on assignment, celebrating his anniversary with his beautiful bride. We have Travis Severance. Travis, it's been a while. How are things going? And I guess let the cat out of the bag here. You were in Vegas. You were at Double or Nothing. How was it, pal?
What an amazing show. Between the jet lag and the lack of adrenaline after leaving 67 hours of 43 matches on that card, I am ready to be back and talk to all you downstate veterans of wrestling.
That's it. We're glad to have you, pal. And we'll get into Double or Nothing in a second. We're going to lead off with that. And we'll get to Gary in a second. Yeah, Gary's not here this week. We'll address that.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
Nope, that's true.
No, we haven't. On today's episode, Violent by Design with a statement win over the champions of Impact this past Thursday. Shinsuke Nakamura and Riddle are looking for vengeance against the Bloodline. John DeConnie, he's going to actually take the place of Gary Mehaffy. It's going to be a tough job. Gary's kind of very replaceable. But John DeConnie will discuss with us NXT UK in the British Rounds match. That was, for an episode for Gary to miss. I feel bad about this, that Gary can't discuss a match he's been looking forward to forever now. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, presented by Minutes to Bell Time, and always sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. There you go. We're going to main event the show with another special guest. We're hopefully going to have Deshaun Whipple from the Heroes and Insiders Wrestling Podcast. I said that completely wrong. The Whip Show. He's actually traveling right now. We're hoping he makes it back in time. He's going to be with us to make our picks for potentially in your house, but definitely held in a cell. Here are our Raw roll-up standings heading into last week's action. Raw with a 3 roll-up lead on AEW, followed closely by SmackDown and Impact. What an interesting Raw roll-up week it was. Especially, we had history. We had history in the Raw roll-up category, and I can't wait to talk about it. When the doctor, when she sees you full force. But we're going to curtain jerk the show, like I said, with Double or Nothing, with our main event, with Travis Severance. Travis, looking at my all of our picks ahead of time, I thought you were with me on the Hangman Page bandwagon, and it looked like I was on that horse all by myself come showtime, huh?
So, sometimes you get to the point where you've got a feeling, an inkling, and it's odd. And I was texting back and forth with Ryan, and I was out in front of the T-Mobile Arena as the crowds were coming in. And I said, it's just something where I think they want him to win it in Chicago. I think it'll be cool. It'll be great. He's in his hometown. That way he doesn't have to defend the title for Forbidden Door or be the champion going into that show. We get Hangman's, like, the build was kind of slow other than the last promo. They didn't have a lot of heat going into it and stuff. And he said, I tried to outsmart myself last time, and I picked MJF when I shouldn't have picked MJF. And it's like, if you're trying to outsmart yourself, you're probably going to lose. And I said, yeah, if I change this pick though, and I got to listen to Al be the champion of AEW Pick'em Wrestling, I've got myself in a tough spot. I got everybody else that I can fade with the points if I'm wrong. If he gets it right, and he's the only one that gets it right, we're going to have Al's face above CM Punk doing the buckshot lariat or something better than he probably did.
And
we're going to have to deal with it. Yes, it would have been awful. So I'm in a terrible spot here. And if I pick him, then we're brothers in arms and we get to hug it out and look how smart we are. But, I had to go with the good money. I was in Vegas. I said, I got to fade the odds and I better pay my insurance money. And if he gets it, he gets it. And hats off to him. And you know what? The other thing, too, just like Punk having his moment, it could have been your moment as well. So I didn't want to rob you from that either.
Yeah, it turned out, I guess, Hangman, I thought, had it. And he was going to, we thought he was turning heel and everything. And he was going to use the belt and knock CM Punk into next week. And all of this mental anguish that he was going through caused him, because he just tried. Then, as my mother once said, Travis, no good deed goes unpunished. He tried to do the right thing, put the belt down, and he ends up getting hit with the GTS and then getting covered. And then we have a new champion. He's the 5th champion in AEW history and won Curtis Maxwell Punk. That's what that stands for, right?
I think so.
Somebody got Hangman a drink, man. I've noticed he hasn't had anything in his hand lately, and you can see just the distraught and the edginess that he's been on. I don't know if it was the belt or whatever, but
that belt is really heavy. It's a big belt, and I think, if he's been white-knuckling it and not having some of the adult beverages, maybe that's the reason why he's so prickly like he was. A great moment. That end of the match was kind of an homage to a Piper Bret Hart match where Piper had the ref got knocked down and Piper had the chair and could have gone to work on Bret.
The old saying, what the hell, use the bell.
Exactly. And it's going to haunt. I think it's going to haunt our friend Hangman here. What's interesting is he didn't have a problem being a little underhanded against Adam Cole in that match. And I'm not sure how the story is going to spin off with this Punk finish being the way that it was and him not going down that road. So I don't know. Maybe he's the ultimate baby face and he's the AEW original that's going to stand the test of time. We'll see.
There you go. Then we learned a new word. I learned a new word about I think it was last week. The penultimate match. The match before the main event was Anarchy and Asylum, and might as well just throw this on as well, Travis, as you're going over the match.
Love it. Yeah, so it's interesting. Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah, there you go.
We where we were sitting was in the middle of the arena, and a couple of guys in a row just down had gone to the bathroom, and there's this kind of a separate area where we had bathrooms and access to a bar and stuff like that. And they had said Mox and Kingston were up there. So I knew that Mox and Kingston was going to come down through there, which is great because when Mox is up, they always set up lights in the two arenas in the bottom part of the arena. So those lights were set up. So everybody was looking down in that other corner. Now our section knew, because the guy had already gone up. So we knew that he was coming down. So everybody got their cameras ready and stuff. So Wild Thing comes on. The arena goes nuts. Jericho's been really silencing everybody on the Judas thing. Judas was still sung. They come out in their white it's all Kangol hats all around, and Wild Thing goes on, and the place just goes crazy. Boom, they split up into where they're going to go with their sections. And I thought the production team did a really good job trying to follow this match, but it was all over the place. So Wild Thing goes through the loop. It's I've heard that sung in the stands. It's the loudest I've ever heard that sung before, which isn't a surprise. It's the largest crowd ever. I'm telling you, when that went silent and they fired it up the second time, that was the loudest pop of the night. That crowd lit up. So now they're playing it through a second time. This never happens. Wild Thing, when you play that version through the full way, the one from Major League, it's a long, long song. So everybody in the arena already knew that it was going long. When it cuts out and then it comes right back on, it was wild. So then it sets up the spot. Of course, you got the spot that it's setting up is they're going to Jericho, who's old man and he's miserable about it, and he's going to break the soundboard. So that's when they cut the song. When Jericho smashes the soundboard, they cut the song off, and there's an angle there. And it's cool because it's a tribute back to New Jack. Because when New Jack used to wrestle, he'd wrestle his entire match with his song on. He'd pin the guy, and that would be over, and out of the building he'd go. Nobody's done that since New Jack had done it back then. So they go back and they play an homage to that as well. And man, I'll tell you, those are not the matches that I typically tend to find myself enjoying. I did not love the stadium stampeding and all the other nonsense, but for whatever reason, this one, they had the pairings of the guys good enough, and there was enough action going on where it didn't feel like it was dead all the time. I mean, obviously, like, you're on TV, so you're only watching what the cameras are showing you, so you're getting a little bit, but as somebody sitting in the arena, I could only get sections of it too. I got to see the table spot over here, but I couldn't really see what was going on with the Eddie stuff unless I was watching on the monitors. So I got to see the mustard, but I didn't see some of that other stuff that was going on with him and Garcia that you guys got to see. Or I was watching the arena. It was a beautiful mess.
Yeah, Justin Roberts, before the match even starts, the bleep is about to hit the fan, and here's John DeConnor a picture of Eddie Kingston. This was a mess.
So Eddie was a mess, and it's interesting to see where Eddie's going to go with this character after this, and how he's gonna take this loss. Eddie storyline.
I hate to cut you off, Travis.
No.
Bench brawl. Do you think Blackpool Combat Club's going to turn heel? Feud against Kingston and Brian Powerful. Maybe that's.
I think what you're seeing is a very surgical approach to cutting into a bunch of three-ways. I think you're seeing a bunch of three-man teams cut up in the middle of all this stuff that's kind of getting packaged together so that they can get that. I think we might see like a mini tournament or something like that for the three-man tags. I think this is pretty intentional. That schism that Moxley or that Kingston was having with Danielson is the reason why I picked Jericho Society. I think I might have been the only one of the six of us that ended up picking that, and that's the reason why I made that pick, because I thought that that's going to cost them the match. Halfway into the match, when they were all split up, I was like, shit, I outsmarted myself with this pick. This isn't going to come true. And then Kingston comes out and Danielson makes the save on Jericho getting gasoline thrown on him and all the other craziness that goes on. And, they end up picking up the match. And it was an interesting way to give kind of Blackpool Combat Club their first loss, because you did it in a bigger, more spectacular way with a lot of stuff going on. And, poor Wheeler Yuta, with all the momentum that he had, I would say other than FTR, he's probably the person that I've missed the most on this card, but he's in Japan working Super J Cup. So
we had the finals, both men's and women's, of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, a match that we all just was clamoring. John Smith, I know there was, I touched on it a little bit last week, but Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, we got robbed of this in NXT. Cole was, Joe was supposed to be Wriggle's like bodyguard as enforcer type deal, and Cole was right in the face. We were supposed to get that at a takeover, never got it, but we got it at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, this was definitely on my short list of dream matches that were actually possible, and they delivered. I'd say they put on a very good match, but I mean it was nothing spectacular. I mean, of course, Adam Cole and Joe know how to work a match, so I'm not saying anything negative here. But they did right by Owen and wrestled a nice clean match until the end, of course, because Bobby Fish had to get involved. But he he didn't actually get involved. He just kept getting punched every time he tried to interfere. But just his presence was able to be enough for Adam Cole to sneak the victory with a bunch of kicks to the head and then finally the boom knee to the back of the head. Like I said, really good match. I just would have liked to have seen it end clean since it was like the Owen tournament. But I understand that you got to protect Joe a little bit because he's got a belt on him.
Yeah, and he's got that feud with Jay Lethal right around the corner, so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. And then on the women's side, leading into it, we were in the semifinals last week. Britt Baker makes roll-up history, 2 roll-ups in 1 week. Good job by the good doctor. She won her semifinal against Toni Storm via the roll-up as she hooked the rope. So she got the heel winner's bell there. And then on Rampage, Ruby Soho with a roll-up of her own on Chris Statlander. So it only made sense that the women's final ended up in a Raw roll-up as well. As going back to homages, Travis Severance, here we go, WrestleMania 10. John DeConnie, I believe did the special with Ryan Joy in WrestleMania 10 when Owen rolled through Brett and he got the surprising roll-up win at WrestleMania 10. But Ruby, when she did that, Britt rolled back on it and got the roll-up victory. So she is your Owen Cup champion on the women's side. And I believe I called that. So now I do believe that Adam Cole and Britt Baker are going to fight each other for those belts and that trophy in a winner-take-all match. I'm sure it'll be at a private location between the two of them that no one else will see. But in all seriousness, I think they had a very well done presentation at the end. I liked how Britt and Adam were both wearing pink and black. I thought Ruby and Joe would have looked pretty cool with the half pink trunks with the black. Sweet Rancid was playing. That was pretty fun. And then just a well presentation done in getting Dr. Martha Hart, Owen's wife, involved with the championship belt and the 2 huge cups that are, not many things are close to the Stanley Cup or the Grey Cup, but in Canadian trophy history, those are big. Those are pretty big. Well done. So very well done by AEW in honoring Owen Hart, and I'm looking forward to the tournament next year. And I hope this is a continued tradition where the tournament finals are every year at Double or Nothing. Thunder Rosa beat Serena Deeb after a superplex followed into a Thunder Driver. So Thunder Rosa with the title retention there. Great match between probably the 2 most technical sound women in AEW. And then Jurassic Express, they defeated Team Taz, and then Swerve and Keith Lee with the Thoracic Express on Swerve. They retained their titles as well. The show started off, Travis, we didn't even know if this match was going to happen, huh? There was a little bit of drama that I don't know if it was unnecessary or if it was real or story or whatever, but we got the match. I believe it went 7 minutes according to the stopwatch of John DeConnie. I saw this match opening the show, and I remember you saying on the conversation thread, there's going to be a couple quick matches. I'm like, this match will be 2 minutes.
Yeah. I think it went 7 because the crowd chanted for 10 power bombs on MJF.
Yeah, exactly.
The crowd wasn't real good to him. He got a "You showed up" chant, which I haven't heard that a lot. And allegedly, based on a couple of different places, he had gotten to the building minutes before the match and left right after the match with no nonsense. And in the media scrum, the first question that was asked to Tony Khan was, "What's going on with MJF?" To which he quickly commented, "No comment." So it's very much one of those things where if it wasn't for the meet and greet refunds and the things that were going on, I'd say, oh, this is a perfect angle work, right? We got the good guy owner and we got the bad guy wrestler, and we're going to work this angle and it's going to be a thing. But having to do the refunds and disappointing the fans in that way, it's not Max being a dick and walking out halfway through or something like that. It's Max not appearing. And regardless of what's going on, there's some realness to it. And if I were Tony Khan, I probably wouldn't have put Max on the meet and greet list to begin with, because he's in a situation where they're struggling with their business relationship. Well, don't put a line of fans in front of him to have him answer questions that you might not like the answers to. So I would say on the business side of things, the company made some mistakes there. But the match was, for a 2-year build, was not the match that I was hoping for, but it was the match that we needed to have given the circumstances. I mean, they brought this guy Wardlow in, and he went through the paces of being just the big muscle guy in a Diesel-like build to ended up beating MJF here. I mean, if you look at his career in AEW, his only losses are either AEW heavyweight champions or Jake Hager and Scorpio Sky. That's the only people he's ever lost to is heavyweight champions. So they've done a really nice job with this guy, and they've given him the ability to be able to work and wrestle and come into himself. And at the end, when you've got an arena full of people cheering for you the way that Goldberg was cheered for, that's about as good as you can get.
Yeah, Wardlow. You were talking about Wardlow with the loss. Right? He's got 2 losses, as far as I know. Like one. Well, I know for a fact they were both by the Royal Roll-Up. That's the reason why I know he has 2 losses. Travis, I forgot to put this up during the women's tournament match, but I figured, hey, that looks really all right. There you go, roll.
So the roll-ups
everywhere.
The roll-ups being homage to Owen and Owen winning that way. I'm with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
John DeConnie, this was my winner is me match last week. I was amped for the trios match between the Death Triangle and the House of Black. You can do it. Winner is you in this one. You were just giddy about this, but at the ending of this, rewind to episode 102.
Yes, absolutely. So a couple years ago, we had this rule that for our enjoyment as fans, once a month, we had to have Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I would like to institute a rule right now that since there's only a big 4 in AEW, 4 times a year, I need this trios match because I'm going to struggle not to talk about this 15-and-a-half-minute match for an hour. This match was amazing. It started out with, first of all, House of Black coming out in the war paint. And very early on in this, like before even the introductions, when they were just in their corners, there was a shot, and there was a little forced perspective going on. The shot was taken like from the floor up at House of Black, and Buddy Matthews was in the forefront. So you had the forced perspective of him looking like the tallest guy in the group, and he had the war paint on that went into the beard. The hair was wet. He's got that Vitruvian, carved out of marble physique. He looked about as intimidating as any human being I've ever seen in my life at the beginning of this match. And then he went on to put on a fantastic match. They did those spots early on where someone would throw someone to the floor and get ready to. Absolutely. Yeah, the fake topes where somebody would slide back in and cut them off. First, you had Buddy do it. Penta did it to Buddy. Then Buddy did it back to Penta. Then the entire Death Triangle did it to Brody to keep him from going over the top rope and teased that, he thought about doing it. He's that crazy. And then he paid that off later with him actually doing it. And, the ring took the worst of that fall. At one point, Buddy hit a Meteora where he traveled at least 2/3 of the way across the ring. You had the amazing Poison Rana by Pac, where it didn't look like he had enough room to do it, and he just whipped Buddy over, and just unbelievable. At one point, Phoenix and Penta are out on the apron's edge with Buddy. Penta steps off Phoenix's back to hit a destroyer on Buddy on the hardest part of the ring, or the second hardest part of the ring. This match was just amazing back and forth. I could go on forever. I'm going to try and cut myself short. Getting to the end, you had Pac getting set up for the Black Arrow. You had Buddy cut him off and kind of knock him down. So instead, he did a slingshot 450 over Buddy onto Malachi. Then he sets up for it again. The lights go out. They come back up. Julia Hart's in front of him. Pac gets the black mist in the face again, comes down off the top buckle, right into a black mass. 1, 2, 3. The House of Black takes the victory. And I cannot wait to see this again, whether it be in the Trios tournament or whatever. I need this again. I need this a lot.
Yeah, and John DeConnie, thank you very much for the idea. It was you last week, and I think it's time for somebody to join the House of Black. And that when the light bulb went off, I'm like, give it Julia Hart, and I called the Black Mist for the win. So thank you for that point. An extra bonus imaginary points for me on that one, and a couple for you, John DeConnie, for the idea. Thank you. American Top Team defeated Samuel Guevara, Ty Conti, and Frankie Kazarian after a TKO by Scorpio Sky on Kaz. Kaz and Sammy just could not get on the same page at all during the match. Travis, Scorpio Sky got a new TNT championship in Laker colors. How do you like that?
Laker colors looks good on Scorpio Sky. We're going to go into the forum this Wednesday, the house that Magic and Kareem built. It'll be interesting. This is going to be their West Coast run. They got a lot of West Coast guys, Powerhouse Hobbs, Young Bucks included. I think Sammy Guevara summarized this on Twitter best for all of us. And he said, number one, me and Tay looked really good walking out tonight. And number two, I think everybody's glad this feud's over. And truer words have not been spoken. I think when they were putting this together, I don't think TK had any idea how much heat Ty and Sammy were going to have. And like Frankie kind of got caught in the shrapnel here. You got fans don't know who to cheer for because they hate everybody in the match. So like, let's just move on. Let's do the next build and get these guys away from each other.
I do believe it was on Rampage when they were breaking into American Top Team. Frank is like, I can't believe this is the first time I've ever hanging out with you guys. I'm already committing a crime.
Kazarian's really good, super underrated, but he's good.
There you go, James Wheeler.
I agree with you 100%.
James went to the movies to see this paper. This was all for movie theaters for the first time.
Yeah, Ryan and Maggie did in Disney Springs too. So I would have done that if I was at home and not at the show live too. The theater experience. Really
upset of the night. Oh my God! Jumping out of my chair, Kyle O'Reilly with the win over Darby Allin. With that jumping knee drop from the top turnbuckle. Amazing showing by Kyle O'Reilly. I didn't give him a prayer in that match. I figured the golden shovel was handed over from Sting over to Darby to bury him in this match, but apparently not. So looks like Sting's going to have to get up off of his recliner, get back in the ring and do this burying himself, burying Red Dragon, probably in a tag team match. Speaking of tag team matches, the Hardys defeated the Young Bucks after a twist of fate followed by the Swanton. Very fun match. They went all at it. They went all out. They went at it. That was good to see that. Jade Cargill defeated Anna Jay with a top rope jaded and an appearance by Malcolm Bivens. I don't know what his new name is. They didn't call him Malcolm Bivens. I didn't catch what it was, but he looks like he's taking over for Smart Mark Sterling with Jade Cargill and the baddies.
It's Stokely Hathaway. That's his ROH.
Stokely Hathaway.
Yep.
I gotta write that down. I have a whole list of name changes. I didn't get to that one yet.
Yeah, he did. He just wanted him back to his ROH name.
There you go. Post-match attack by Jade Cargill and the baddies, but Chris Statler came out, followed by Athena. So here we go. Travis, quick question, I guess, with you. I'm gonna throw up the AEW roster right now for you. I believe we have enough.
That's just the women's roster. That's not even the
titles.
men's.
This is going to be women's trios titles.
I think we're going to see 10-man, 10 women's titles, TV titles, TBS titles, and dark titles as well, because everybody needs a belt if you're going to do it this way.
And then probably the match that everybody was most anticipated for, and you had to watch it on YouTube in the buy-in. The team of Hook and Danhausen defeated Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling at the Hook suplex Sterling, and then tagged in Danhausen for the cover.
It's interesting. Danhausen's like Orange Cassidy's for the kids. AEW does it a different way, right? Like, what's interesting about these comic book characters that they decide to bring in is like Danhausen actually can wrestle. Orange Cassidy can actually wrestle. So these guys are gimmicks and they're out of control and they're just stupid or silly at times and stuff like that. But they actually can have matches, which ends up always being the surprising thing. You got this guy out tapping you on the leg or cursing you or whatever. It's like, holy shit, this guy can actually go and take bumps and he can do moves and stuff like that. So, it's not complete garbage festival like a lot of times with the way you see these people. So,
no, but I'm willing to make the argument that if either Orange Cassidy or Danhausen were on Raw, they'd be the most hated wrestlers on the planet.
I think I don't know. There's a lot of people that watch Raw. There's a lot of people that like Raw. So I don't know. The numbers alone themselves would probably say that they're okay.
All right, so here's how we did at AEW Double or Nothing. John DeConnie, 11-2. I mean, everybody got Kyle O'Reilly wrong, and everybody but Travis got Jericho Appreciation Society wrong. So you went 11-2. Ryan Joy went 10-3. Myself, Travis, Gary, all 9 wins. John Smith with 8 wins, but he got the extra points because I went against CM Punk, which puts our overall standings, and I'll put this at the end of the show as well as we make our picks for the upcoming shows. Ryan Joy with only a 10-point lead on John DeConnie, and Travis is right behind him. Travis off to a great start this year.
Yeah, so, I've refocused. I've had to refocus, recommit myself to this whole thing.
Yeah. So, Travis, before we let you go, I need you just so we make sure that all of our bridges, our T's are crossed, or J's are crossed, and our I's are dotted here. As we go into the NXT UK segment, Gary Mehaffy is not with us today. Unfortunately, Gary had an accident where he fell. We're gonna show you. He actually put this clip up on Facebook. I look away if you're squeamish. Definitely look away. But unfortunately, this is what Gary looks like now.
Oh, Gary. The Maybelline sponsors are leaving as we speak.
Yes. So we're going to conduct a little bit of an investigation here because this is not Jonathan Connie. Apparently, I guess is that better than Kingston? Not anything. Anyway, Travis, you were accounted for, so we can cross over the list. You were out in Las Vegas at Double or Nothing. You were accounted for. Ryan Joy is actually still currently in Orlando celebrating his anniversary with his bride, so he's accounted for. My bride actually is currently struggling with COVID. I guess we're just late to the party with this one. So I've been in quarantine for the past week. John DeConnie, I guess for lack of a better phrase, you're always present and accounted for. We know where you're at. John Smith, where were you on Wednesday night, May 25th?
I don't recall. What's
You
happening?
wouldn't happen to be over in Belfast, Northern Ireland, would you?
No, what's going on right now? What am I missing?
All right, I just wanted to make sure. I just want to make sure I cross you off the list. That's all. Do you have an alibi? Was it you that took out Gary?
Oh, I was like, what are you getting at here? No, I just assumed that he was at the nightclub and looked through the hole of the skull.
So that's always, I guess, if it wasn't John Smith, I guess really there's only one thing you can point at in situations like these.
Mm-hmm.
You did it for The Rock.
You did it for the Rock.
Travis, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to have you on again.
Great being back, guys. Yep.
We miss you on the daily wrestling news shows every morning. We miss doing that as a whole.
Sure.
Maybe you can get your cousin to get his ass back in gear and get us back.
I don't know. It's hard to do it when you're eating that much pizza and ice cream.
I bet you just see the size of that pizza. What the hell is he doing? Travis, thank you so much for joining us, pal. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, bud.
See you, Chad.
And John Smith, we're just gonna run through NXT real quick. Do you need to go take a walk? Do you need to? I know you said you're cleansing. You need to run to the bathroom real quick.
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
All right, John DeConnie, NXT UK. We had our British rounds match. A winner was Gary. I'm sure, even though he's looking like Sloth right now from Goonies, I'm sure he had. He was absolutely loving every second of it. This one, the sixth round. No one really bothered me about this though. It went sixth. The cup was not on the line, obviously, and they made it a point to be like, if this match ends, there's no overtime. I'm like, God damn it, like. I think I called overtime in this one.
Yeah, I want overtime. I need overtime in this one. But yeah, this was exactly what we wanted out of this match. And it just, you had A-Kid hit that springboard moonsault DDT insanity that he does to get one of the falls. Dempsey doing a bow and arrow to get a submission for the other fall. And of course, because he's part of Die Familia, you had to have a little trickeration at the end there. And of course, because he's a Regal, some brass knucks had to be involved, even though he didn't actually use them. So just a hell of a, what did it go? About 18 minutes. There was no falls in the first two rounds, and still those first two rounds were goddamn technical clinic. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, and a smart move by A-Kid. I don't know, maybe, I guess hindsight's 2020. I don't want to say it cost him in the end, but he tapped to that stretch that Dempsey does before he even hooked it in. Like, he knew he wasn't getting out of it, and he wanted to avoid injury. Right. So the second Dempsey was going for it, and A-Kid knew he was done, he tapped immediately so he could continue the match. So, and then, like I said, he got the pin. I believe he got that Liu Kang kick that he does in the fourth, then he tied it. Yeah, absolutely amazing match. I'm not sure if A-Kid is still stateside now. I haven't seen him on NXT. Maybe starting after In Your House, we'll get more of A-Kid stateside so that people can appreciate this guy for who he is, because he is absolutely incredible. Lash Legend, she's overseas from NXT. She defeated Millie McKenzie after catching Millie with a flip off the top turnbuckle. She wanted to go get some momentum for a move, and ended up getting an A-Train scissor kick to the face. So Lash Legend with the win there. So Lash Legend did get a win last week, although it wasn't, I don't think, the win that she wanted. Interesting match. Shaw Samuels got the win over Damon Kemp. Now, I'm thinking Damon Kemp is this Roddy Strong and NXT 2.0 rattled off his resume, and probably one of the more impressive ones I've ever heard. I mean, he didn't win an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck, but it was impressive nonetheless. And the East End bookie got it done.
Yeah. I mean, and then the early part of this match was Kemp kind of, once again, putting on a clinic, just kind of, tossing Shaw around, this, that, and the other thing. But, Shaw comes out with Noam Dar. You've got to account for that at all times. And Dar wound up hooking Kemp's leg from outside with his scarf. That, kind of just slowed him down just enough for Shaw to get the upper hand back, and a couple of smooth moves into a spine buster, and Shaw Samuels gets the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, as the bookie, as he predicted, the odds were in Shaw's favor. I would have taken that bet. I would have taken Damon Kemp. But backstage after the match, Wolfgang approached Damon Kemp, willing to take Kemp under his wing and teach him the Glasgow way of doing things over in NXT UK. So Kemp's about to get some dirty lessons, I guess, in Scottish wrestling. I guess you get first things first. You got to find a kilt for him, right? Speaking of Scotsman and Dallas, Mark Coffey with a win over Saxon Huxley. We haven't seen Saxon in a while. Do we have him on here still? No. I'm picture of Sweetums. After a running elbow to the side of the head, dedicated his match to his brother Joe. Come back whenever you want, mate. So Mark's being a supportive brother to his older brother Joe, who's going through some stuff right now. And then Kenny Williams continues to look like he hasn't slept in weeks because of this stalker. Mark Andrews with a friendly reminder that they have a match in 2 weeks' time. So a week and a half from now, not this upcoming Thursday, but the following Thursday, June 9th. That match, along with the Women's Championship match between Miko Satomura being challenged by Ivy Nile. So I am really looking forward to that. If Gary's back next week, we'll get into that then. We have 2 matches this week to talk about. John McConney, I forgot to get graphics for him. Von Wagner, Sam Gradwell, they're watching each other's videos of each other. They're kind of like doing scouting reports for video promos, saying this and that about the other. But when Gradwell saw the video of Wagner long darting Ikeman Jiro into the crowd, Gradwell jumped out of his seat. I think Sam realized he's in for a bigger fight than he initially thought.
Yes, the big dumb man. Saxon Huxley named Von Wagner a couple of weeks back. I don't enjoy listening to him talk. I don't necessarily always enjoy listening to or watching him wrestle, but you have to account for that size. You have to account for that strength. And Gradwell knows he's got his work cut out for him. And, I want to say Gradwell would get it done with technique, but something tells me, as Von has been saying, every chance he gets, it's his world. We're all just living in it. And I think he gets the win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Von Wagner as well. I mean, Damon Kemp's the only NXT guy who's lost right now. Ivy Nile won her debut, Lash Legend. So they're kind of up right now, 2-1 on NXT UK if you're keeping score at home. And then we have a triple team tag team championship match. Mustache Mountain's going to be defending against De Familia and the team of Ashton Smith, Oliver Carter. They're going to get another crack at these belts. This is the 3rd time, I think, John DeConnie.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with them. The 3rd time's a charm. Screw this. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in the same season.
Especially in the same season, of course. Yeah. It just seems like that's the way it should be. But I just have this weird suspicion that Tio Man and Raja are going to pull this one out because kind of it's the last thing we're thinking of. So I'm going to go with them. I'm not going to be surprised when I'm wrong, but it's either way, it's going to be a hell of a triple threat.
I don't think they'll be involved. How about this? We'll go this way then. Just to my own story, my own theory is right. So I'll go Carter and Smith to win this, but DeFamilia won't be involved in the decision. And then when DeFamilia gets the next crack, maybe you don't have to have these long championship reigns. It's just, AEW, I don't say has this problem too. They just played hot potato with the TNT title, but like NXT UK has these long ass title reigns. I think it's time just for a quickie. Gary's chiming in. He's okay. Yeah, he's got Smith and Carter as well. Unfortunately, John DeConnie. Gary, you're irreplaceable, pal. Irreplaceable, even if you look like sloth. As long as you come back with a "Hey, you guys" next Thursday, you'll be good to go. That'll do it for NXT UK. John Smith will bring you back in for Impact Wrestling. We got some big picks coming up as we're leading into Slammiversary. I'm sorry, John DeConnie, but last Thursday. Champions versus challenge. Actually, no. Violent by Design. They're not challenging for the tag title. We got champions on one side. We got Violent by Design on the other. Eric Young on his way to Slammiversary for a world title match. Big win, statement win. Violent by Design.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all sat here last week and tried to break it down strategically. Joe Doring never eats a pin. Eric Young's on his way to a title match, and on the other side, you got 3 champions. Well, Diener's eating a pin here. No big deal. Yeah. It's just going to happen. Well, it's not exactly the way things work out. Math is not fluid when it comes to Impact Wrestling, and Diener used EY's hockey mask to crack. Who was it? Mark, the dumb-looking one. No, sorry. He cracked Mark Briscoe in the skull, and then EY hit him with a pile driver, and Violent by Design gets the win here in this, highly anticipated main event.
There was a backstage interview. Like I said, the Violent by Design is not getting the title shots. They had the rematch clause. They didn't get the job done. Backstage interview before this match with Josh Alexander and the Briscoes talking about the main event. Once that concluded, the Good Brothers approached the Briscoes saying their tag title reign doesn't count unless they beat the Good Brothers, in which the Briscoes simply replied, "Let's make it count." Then he got backstage later on with Honor No More, giving Scott D'Amore the business for Maria getting speared the week prior due to unsafe working environment. Their own fault, let's be fair here. OGK wants the Good Brothers at Slammiversary, but it's too late because the Briscoes already agreed to the title defense, and D'Amore signed it. So Eddie Edwards... what was the quote? If we don't get what we want, nobody does. And damn it, Eddie Edwards. Damn it, Honor No More. The only thing I wanted was Chris Sabin and Frankie Kazarian. And they took it away from us. That match ended in no contest after a pissed off Honor No More ran down and attacked them. Post-match attack backstage. That wasn't an attack backstage. But Honor No More taking turns shooting promos about the disrespect Impact has shown them, interrupted by Heath and Rhino, who defended Impact for giving them opportunities. That turned into a brawl. They were separated by security. We have this Thursday night. We got the Kingdom, the OGK, Matt Bennett, and Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, going against the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions of all time, John Smith, our cheese and saltine eating friends, Heath and Rhino. What do you got?
Give me Heath and Rhino in this one, just because it's Rhino.
Yeah, right. Might as well. John DeConnie.
I'm going to go with OGK just because, you got Honor No More here. I mean, I quite frankly thought they should have taken the belts right before the Briscoes got to town, because at some point you've got this faction, you've got to let them mean something backstage. So I'm going to say they get the win here, but, who the hell knows?
Yeah, I think the Kingdoms. I'll go with the Kingdom on this one. If you're right, I feel like a tag title reign's coming. I think the Briscoes are temporary. I think maybe that's the reason why. Yeah. So I guess go with that. Trey Miguel defeated Alex Shelley with a crucifer roll up. I think I'm gonna just roll with this. I think Travis left me a gift here. I think that graphic stems from a shot Travis was taking at the 24/7 title one roll on the conversation thread. I think you want to keep it. Trey Miguel with the crucifix roll up on Alex Shelley to qualify for Ultimate X. Backstage, congratulations for Trey qualifying for Ultimate X, which included a handshake from Alex Shelley. Good for him on keeping the code of honor and Impact. It was interrupted by Kenny King talking some trash to Trey Baxter. Name change. Trey Baxter. I know he was Blake Shelton way before he was Trey Baxter. I know him better as Blake Shelton. Not Blake. Blake Christian. Blake Shelton's the singer. All right. So both Blake and Trey go to Kenny King to put his Ultimate X spot on the line. So Kenny King playing as an unnecessary gamble here, running his mouth. Blake Christian. I did it again. I did it right. Blake Christian could enter Ultimate X here at Slammiversary. Before we get into our picks, John DeConnie, Blake Christian, Trey Baxter, that poor bastard probably had the greatest gimmick in front of him in NXT, being Cora Jade's boyfriend, and it was ripped under his feet after a week. So I don't think Blake Christian's going to win this match, but that poor bastard. I think they made out the one backstage segment.
I believe they did, yes. And, and even if that was his only segment, it was better than his only segment on SmackDown as a cameraman for Sami Zayn, where he got the crap kicked out of him. So, I don't think he's going to win here. I'm going to say King wins here just so we have an Honor No More participant in Ultimate X. But Blake Christian sure would be great in that Ultimate X because that guy can fly.
Yeah, he did very well. I believe he made it to the semifinals of that the Ultimate X like 2 Januaries ago. Not this past January, but the one before that, the tournament that Ace Austin won, the Super X Cup. John Smith, like I said, if Blake Christian gets an Ultimate X, maybe that frees up, I don't know, more for a 10-minute. Well, there's 6 of them, though, right? So maybe, no, there's 5 of them. I don't even know. Then there's 6, so maybe the other 5, I don't know. Who do you got on this one? Some type of gang warfare match.
I'm going to go with Blake Christian just because I want to see him in that Ultimate X match.
Yeah. Backstage promo with Rich Swann. He's going to hunt down Matt Cardona and take that digital media title. Breaking news, he did that. Apparently there was an indie event over the weekend. Rich Swann defeated Matt Cardona. He's now the new Impact Digital Media Champion. So check one for Rich Swann on that. I don't know what the event was. I saw it scrolling through Twitter. Swann celebrating with the belt, so you got it done. But first, because I know I'm reading this past tense here. He wants Matthew Raywalt, since Raywalt eliminated Swann from Gauntlet for the gold. So Matthew Raywalt, we haven't seen. He doesn't really wrestle all that often now that he's got commentating duties, but he's got to hop over the desk and get into the ring with Rich Swann, John Smith.
Yeah, give me Rich Swann here. I don't think it's going to take very long either.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, give me Swann here. I know if you told me the belt was on the line, I'd say maybe it's a little bit different, but no, just give me Swann.
Yeah, I got Rich Swann as well. Jordan Grace defeated Chelsea Green after a Grace driver. Fun match with those two. It's a great pairing. Backstage interview with Deonna Purrazzo talking about Mia Yim and the Queen of the Mountain match. Interrupted by Tasha. We got 2 Jersey girls. I love the on screen with Deonna and Tasha. Jersey girls everywhere. They're great. There's a picture of the two of them. We even still have it up here when they were the champs together. I don't think I still have it. Anyway, interrupted by Tasha, who took some offense to some of the things Deonna said, but wasn't looking for a fight. They have a common enemy with Mia Yim. Savannah Evans is going to fight Mia on Thursday. Tasha invited Deonna Purrazzo to ringside to check it out. So Miss Yim here is getting a lot of attention from Tasha Steelz, from Deonna Purrazzo. It seems like the new toy of Impact, John DeConnie, has got a bullseye on her.
Yeah, I mean, just fighting Savannah at her size would put Yim at a disadvantage to begin with. Tasha's going to be buzzing around ringside. Now Deonna's going to be at ringside too. I mean, it sounds like absolutely everything is against Mia Yim here, which is exactly why Mia Yim will somehow find a way to win.
Yeah, whether Jordan Grace comes down to help out as well. Chelsea Green, I don't think you'll see involved in this. Well, maybe now that she just lost to Jordan, maybe she'll come down to attack Jordan. But for whatever reason, John, Taya Valkyrie was the wild card a couple of weeks ago. Just not even in the Queen of the Mountain, but she somehow just finds her way on screen. So Maybe you see a Taya Valkyrie run in to help Mia. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll just go ahead and agree with you guys on this one.
John DeConnie, you last week on the Essential Wrestling Podcast, you posed the question: how does Masha Slamovich get Havoc up for the snowplow? Well, that's how she did it, because Masha Slamovich defeated Havoc with the snowplow in pretty quick fashion. I believe that was only maybe like a minute or two. Typical Masha Slamovich fashion. Rosemary looked befuddled in every sense of the word. Crazy Steve, Black Taurus, they came out. They were all in shock at how Havoc just got dominated. There's a minute 28. Just got dominated by Masha Slamovich. So the women's division, even on the bottom tier, it's getting tough. You know, women like Masha Slamovich, Lady Frost, they're gunning for the women that have been there for a while. Bhupinder Gujjar and W. Morrissey defeated Raj Singh and Mahibal Shira after a choke slam by Morrissey. But you got to give the people what they want. Morrissey with the tag, Bhupinder with the middle turnbuckle spear for the win. And now, randomly, they just put 4 people together in a match. Maybe this is going to main event. We have like an all-star match here. You got Moose and Steve Macklin going against Morrissey and PCO. Moose and Macklin had a brief thing backstage where Macklin was telling Moose, you know, get your head in the game here. Don't let Sami Callihan mess with you, which I guess the screen did a thing and it messed with Moose. He was like, oh my God, no, Sami. So Sami's getting Moose. So kind of a random matcher, but this is what we have. Yeah, exactly. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Sammy's face at some point in this match, whether the lights go out or whether he just jumps a guardrail and takes Moose out with a baseball bat. But give me Morrissey and PCO, because if, you know, Sammy doesn't take out Moose, I can see Macklin and Moose breaking down and fighting each other anyway. So give me the other guys, regardless of who they are, essentially.
Yeah, John Smith is, and Morrissey is now on this new good guy babyface run that started. That now he's helping out Bhupinder Gujjar. I like saying Bhupinder.
Yes, exactly. He's my favorite in Impact right now. I'm gonna go with I'll go with Morrissey and PCO. How is PCO a face?
He's not. This is just a random, like they said that, like an all-star match. Like, why the hell are these 4 even like looking at each other, let alone like Morrissey and Moose? I thought we were done with that. Now they might accidentally get back involved. Oh, it's I don't know. Impact's gonna impact. They haven't impacted in a while. I think it's
maybe the match just never even gets started. Maybe there's like a whole thing that happens, or
maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe PCO gets taken out and Sammy takes his place. I can see something like that happening. Yeah, it's there you go. No. So now we switch. Impact's always fun. There, Slammiversary, I'm really looking forward to. We are on our way there. That's in 2 weeks, I think. I think we get to pick the matches next week. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But we are going to shift gears now from Impact Wrestling to NXT 2.0. And stuff that's not in your house related. John Smith, they said there was a run-in a couple of weeks ago at the Juice Bar at the WWE Performance Center, where Wesley, I guess, took something Sangha said out of context, so they thought about it.
I think he just doesn't like his mustache. I think that thing's badass. He's like a sophisticated author of pain.
I miss them. I miss the Austin.
Yeah. We got another backstage interview with Wesley before the match saying that he has to do this to prove to himself that he can do it or whatever, the typical underdog thing. So he actually thought that he was going to go out and do it, but he just kept getting smacked down every time he would, get one little bit of offense on. All of a sudden he's backed out on the mat, and then by the end of the match, he strung a few moves together, jumped up to the top rope, and Sangha avoided the top rope maneuver, whatever he was trying to do. And Wesley gets choke slammed all the way from rafters, basically, because
Yeah.
he got him up there real high for the 1, 2, 3. Then we get Zion Quinn coming out, and he confronts Wesley, and while he's like recovering while sitting in the corner of the ring, and it looks like he's about to do something to Wesley, and then Sanga throws Zion Quinn aside and protects Wesley. So now we got this whole thing going on. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, it looks like Wesley. He earned his respect. You know, he's a gutsy guy, Wesley. You know, when he puts the pipe down or the joint down or whatever, you know, his preferred method of inhalation is. I guess I'll just leave it at that. But you know, like hanging around with somebody like Sanga, I do believe Sanga is from India. I believe they have the hookahs, so I think they might be better, more in common than they lead on. But yeah, it seems like Sanga he got won over by Wesley. Maybe we have a new tag team right now, so let's see where we're going with that. Von Wagner defeated Ikemen Jiro with a Death Valley suplex-like maneuver. Post-match instruction from Sophia Cromwell ordering Wagner to long dart Jiro again, which was thwarted by Josh Briggs, and Briggs' partner Jensen was injured by Von Wagner as well on the hit list that Wagner had been doing. So they did not announce a Von Wagner versus Josh Briggs match, but let's just play hypothetical here, John Smith. You gonna give Josh Briggs a chance?
No way.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, no chance.
John DeCounty, I'm gonna say something right now. And I whatever credibility I have to the viewers or whatever, I might just lose it just by saying this. But the next time Von Wagner talks, close your eyes. I couldn't. He sounds like somebody. I can't put my finger on who he sounds like. Close your eyes and tell me if you hear Rob Van Dam. It's really weird. So I'm not saying it is. He's not saying dude and you know whatever. But he kind of has a very Rob Van Dam approach to him. But who do you like in that match?
Von Smash.
Yeah, pretty much. James, I see your comment. We'll get to that in a second once we start making our picks. Alba Fire defeated Elektra Lopez clean. How about that? We didn't see that one coming. After a Swanton bomb, Cora Jade was sitting at ringside watching the match, eating popcorn. No interference from her either. So Lopez slapped the popcorn out of her hands post-match because Cora Jade was laughing at her. So, you know, there's no use crying over spilled popcorn. You just fight about it, John Connie. This will be tonight.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And, more Elektra Lopez is more gooder as far as I'm concerned. I don't expect she'll get the win here, but as long as I get to see her in her wrestling gear every week, I feel like the winner is me. So give me Cora here in the match.
There you go. John Smith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cora as well, possibly with the Raw roll up. Maybe they're trying to see if she's got what it takes to go up to the main roster one day.
Cora's gonna get the momentum, right? She got the natty rub, whatever. Cora's supposed to be the next big thing. Even shows she's probably the tiniest out of everybody. So it'd be interesting to see. Elektra Lopez definitely is going to need to cheat to win this match. Let's see what happens. With the women's breakout tournament, they did a backstage interview with Fallon Henley, who will receive a bye in the final of the breakout tournament due to an injury to Nikita Lyons. Enter Tiffany Stratton, who claims Fallon didn't earn her way into the final. So Fallon replied, "Yeehaw, bitch!" And now they're going to fight about it in the semifinal, in which Tiffany Stratton won. A dominating performance. That was a rub down. That was put your thumb on Fallon Henley and smudge her out. That was Wardlow and MJF on the NXT. Like, that was a incredible performance by Tiffany Stratton. Handstand corkscrew like maneuver off the top turnbuckle. John DeConnie put on Minutes to Bell Time DeConnie, spinning Vader bomb, which is, I guess, simplifies what I was trying to write on paper. Impressive offensive display by Stratton, in my opinion. Henley barely got any offensive in her own. Post-match, Selly with Grayson Waller. And then on the other side, we have Roxanne Perez. She defeated Lash Legend with a Pop Rocks out of nowhere to advance to the final. So this is what we have. I want to say they didn't announce this for tonight, but they haven't announced any of this at all. I'm assuming this is tonight. I don't think they can put it in your house. That's already 6 matches strong. I wouldn't put it on a pre-show or anything. So the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament Final tonight, John Smith. We have Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez. The winner gets a championship opportunity of their choosing.
This is very difficult. It seems like this was all Roxy the whole way. And then, Vince loves to change his mind at the last minute. And Tiffany Stratton coming in to this tournament allows him to do that without us, being like, hey, what the heck was that all about? That being said, I'm going to go with my original thought with Roxanne Perez, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany won this thing because she could really run with it also.
Yeah, I was floored by that performance from her last week, Tiffany Stratton. And Roxanne Perez has been opening eyes too. These new women in the NXT women's division, they're going to be okay, John Connie.
Yeah, and this is, wouldn't this just be like, John was getting at, wouldn't this be just so NXT 2.0? We have the winner of a tournament, someone who wasn't in it when it started. So, just for giggles.
Shane McMahon. At least this isn't a final, it's not a Shane McMahon as bad as the best in the world, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with, since there's no points on the line, just for fun, I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I think smart money's on Roxanne Perez here. I'll just stick with that for now. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to watching this match and seeing what the future of the NXT Women's Division is going to be. Thea Hale, as we reported, or they announced a couple of weeks ago, she's going to be graduating high school. They signed her to an NXT contract before she even graduated high school. Very, very impressive. We just kind of thought that was a random announcement, but I guess they're just going to run with it, throw her on TV right away, and she's going to be at the Performance Center tonight to make her decision on which college she'll attend. Will it be Princeton? There's a lot of accepted offers there. With Dartmouth, I think I saw Duke.
Chase U,
John Smith.
Chase U.
It has to be. Why would they not do this if it wasn't Chase U? So hopefully that's where she goes.
I bet you Buddy Murphy shows up.
I know he's occupied. He's got Julia Hart now. He's fine.
She's too old. She's too old.
All storylines and aside, and we poke fun at Buddy Murphy because of that storyline with Leah Mysterio. We know he's with Rhea Ripley now, so let's just we're sorry. We're just having fun. We're making jokes here. It's a character he was playing.
No, we're not.
Please don't kill us.
I don't need Rhea Ripley wanting to kick my ass. So that was everything in your house related. Everything going forward will be for in your house this Saturday night. So let me just get this situated here. There we go. Here are the overall standings as I showed before. I wanted to make sure Travis knew where he was at before he got off stream. But Ryan Joy with the lead over John Connie, Travis. Gary, myself, and John Smith haven't cracked the 200-point mark yet. Let's see how we go with this weekend with 2 shows. John Connie and myself have a 1-point lead over Ryan Joy in the NXT standings. John Smith, we need a turnaround from you, pal. You ready to do this?
Hey, you know what? Usually I start the year strong and then I fail at the end. I'm trying a different approach this season.
Interesting. Bold prediction for tonight. Alexa Bliss makes a cameo appearance. Ask Cora Jade to be your tag partner for the vacated women's tag team title tournament. That'll be interesting.
Interesting.
You can have Lily on the skateboard. That'd be fun. And then the scoring for the show, 15 points for the NXT title match, 9 points for all their title matches, 3 points for the non-title. If there is a match on the kickoff show, if they announce it tonight and we get it up in time, that will count. Or if anything gets dropped to the pre-show, it will count. And we have a 15-point Henning bonus. We have in the Diamond Mine. We have Diamond Mine. Okay, so Diamond Mine, Roderick Strong apparently rolled his ankle training with Damon Kemp. and will be unable to compete against Pretty Deadly. That was for last week. It was supposed to be Strong and Kemp against Pretty Deadly. The Creeds and Ivy Nile are a little upset because Diamond Mine fights through their injuries and competes through the pain, which is a very NHL mentality. Specific shout out, just to show you the toughness of hockey players, Tristan Jarry, the goaltender of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if you know me, I hate the Pittsburgh Penguins more than anything. Tristan Jarry he missed the first 6 games of their series with the New York Rangers. He played game 7. And with hockey, they don't announce injuries. It's either an upper body injury or a lower body injury because hockey players are D-holes and they target injuries. So, like, oh, my shin's hurting me. You're getting slashed. So they never announce the injuries and what they are. It turns out Tristan Jarry played game 7 with a broken foot. So very Diamond Mine mentality. Shout out to Tristan Jarry, even though I can't stand him. I think he's garbage. But hockey players, they're tough bastards. So that will lead into, I guess, Pretty Deadly. They're just going to go right into the tag team championship match. Our Tasty Snack champions, John Smith, defending against the Creeds. Tasty.
I don't think the belts are. I don't think the belts are coming off of them yet. And I had the Creeds winning the belts a month ago, and I thought that they'd be well into their reign by now. But I think, this is just one of those audibles Vince calls that I was talking about before. To once the MSK thing happened and he had Pretty Deadly coming in, and he was just like, he slapped it both together and on you go. So I got Roddy costing the Creeds their titles, whether on purpose or by mistake. I don't know, but I think he cost them the title.
Jason Weston chiming in. He's a hockey guy as well, big Rangers fan. Berkeley Goodrow of the New York Rangers, been playing with a broken ankle since game 1 of the Penn series. He missed a couple games this past series. He showed up game 6 and last night for game 7 to help the Rangers win that series. So, yeah, shout out Berkeley Goodrow. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say if the Creeds don't win it here, when the hell are they going to win them? But, like Smith said, Pretty Deadly just got the belts. And if you're a fan of NXT, but you don't necessarily watch NXT UK, you're just figuring out who Pretty Deadly are. They're already the tag champions, so you're not going to take the belt off them. So I'm going to go with Pretty Deadly here, but I don't feel good about it because I just think that some weird decisions have been made in this tag division, multiple times in the last 2 months. But give me Pretty Deadly retaining.
Yeah, if you're just seeing Pretty Deadly for the first time, you probably hate them. And it's you're supposed to, and they're side play check. Like what they do, they're Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. That's how he reminds me of. And they're idiots, but they can go. They are one of 2 teams to have held both NXT and NXT UK Tag Team Championships, along with Mustache Mountain. Pretty Deadly had a solid run as UK Tag Champions. And the only reason why they dropped the belts to Mustache Mountain was because they were getting the call overseas. They ran it through everybody. So they had nothing else to do. They can go. This match is going to be really, really good. I'll throw the stamp on it. Where'd it go? Did I delete it by accident? The winner is me in this one. I think I deleted it. Oh, there we go. The winner is me in this match. I'm excited for this. I want to see what the Creeds can do on a pay-per-view level. And, John Smith, I completely agree with you. Roddy's strong, and it's going to be intentional. Roddy's strong. It just seems like this is just blowing up. They're arguing each and every week, and now you take away last week. There was supposed to probably something to cost something somewhere, and they didn't do it. So might as well. It depends on what happens tonight as well, but I can't see the Creeds. We can't see Pretty Deadly winning clean, too. That's going to sneak in, get the pin, and get the hell out of there. Toxic Attraction on their way to the ring, shooting a promo on Indy Hartwell before Mandy's match. They were jumped by Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. And as the backstage officials were trying to break up the melee, Mandy got sent to the ring to face Indy Hartwell. James had a comment about Indy Hartwell. I'm going to pull it up right now, James. Where we go? There we go. I paid very close attention to Hartwell versus Rose. Indy Hartwell did an impressive job in the ring. I see a bright future for her. Her and Bailey at a major premium live event. Very good, James. Very good nomenclature there. Mandy Rose defeated Indy Hartwell after the melee between the four, Caden, Katana, and Gigi and JC. That spilled into out into ringside, allowing Mandy to hit a scissor kick on Indy Hartwell for the pin. Post-match attack on Mandy in the entranceway by Wendy Chu with a ball bag that might have been from an elementary school gym. I think tonight they're going to have some type of summit. John Smith, I'm sure that's something you dreamed of is hitting Mandy Rose with your balls. But
and you'd think she'd be able to take some balls to the face a little bit better. She was, those things weren't lacrosse balls or bowling balls. They looked like very dinky rubber balls.
So they're going to have some type of thing tonight. Nothing has been officially announced. We're just going to assume they're going to be two separate matches with Mandy Rose defending the NXT Women's Championship against Wendy Chu, and then Toxic Attraction defending the tag titles against Katana and Caden. But there very well could just be a 6-woman tag and have all Toxic Attraction backs on a belt on the line as well. So I hope they don't do it that way. But let's just go one-on-one here. Each match separate. John DeConnie, who do you got for the matches?
In the women's world title there, give me Mandy retaining, but give me a title change in the women's tag title match. Katana and Caden taking it away from Toxic Attraction.
It's about goddamn time they give that team the belts, John Smith. Let's go, Jersey Girl. Let's go, Caden. I'm sorry, Katana, Casey.
I'm torn. I see the Toxic Attraction coming away with all their belts still, but I feel like one of the matches is going to end with them losing by DQ or count out. Like maybe they walk away or Mandy walks away. I'm going to say give me Mandy to win and Casey and Caden or whatever their names are now to win, but I don't have them winning the titles. I think that like what I said.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got Mandy Rose. I just cannot see Wendy Chu as NXT. The history of that title, and then you got somebody in a onesie romper type sleeper. Like I can't. And that's nothing against Wendy Chu. I think she's a great wrestler. I just think this character. I think it's time for go back to what was her name? Yao Ming, not Yao Ming. Whatever her name was.
Was it Mei Ying?
Mei Ying, there you go. Then give me let's go. Let's go. Cameron Grimes invaded Mello's barbershop last week, saying he's prepping for Mello at In Your House by fighting a better version of Mello tonight in Nathan Frazier. So that's going to be his prep match for the North American Championship match against Carmelo Hayes at In Your House, John Smith.
This is probably the toughest one to call. Do they give Mello another one, the belt again, so that he could be like a 2-time champ? Maybe work him up towards Johnny Gargano's 3-time champion thing. Then you could also see Cameron Grimes getting the call up, but you could also see Mello getting the call up. But yeah. I'm like working this all out on camera right now.
I'm running fast on that wheel in your head right now.
I'm gonna have to go with Cameron. I know Solo Sikoa's got next too.
That's the wrench in this whole thing. Solo Sikoa's got the winner.
I don't know. Give me Grimes. I might change it, but I don't know. Like I gotta put my picks in, don't I? Oh wait, no, not till Friday.
No, yeah, this is 5 minutes before the show. You have to 6 o'clock on Saturday to do it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that this was tonight for a second.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, because of that comment about Fraser being a better version of Mello, I think Grimes probably wins tonight by DQ because Melo's not going to take that. He's going to, get involved in this match, take a swipe at Grimes. And then I got Grimes retaining so that he can be the one to pass it to Sikoa somewhere not too far in the future.
I got Melo. This is a coin flip. This really can go either way. I'm going Melo because I think he's better than Cameron Grimes. That's not a shot on Grimes. I think he's better. But
Shut your whore mouth.
I think Sikoa is the one that eventually
talk that way about Grimes on this show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I grimy with a call up. I don't mind that. But Melo gets it done. By Trick interfering, and then when Sikoa's got his match against Melo, then Grimes interferes. I think it's going to be a quick title reign, whatever, with Carmelo Hayes, like a week or whatever it is. Solo Sikoa is going to be the guy that gets it, I think, in the end. So, Stacks and Two Dimes, they defeated Mehaffy and Malik Blade after a double punch followed by a double kick to the side of Blade's head. During the match, Legado del Fantasma walked out to observe. Post-match, Tony D said, "Let's go." Legado rushed the ring and a brawl ensued. There's going to be, I guess, one last business meeting. I guess last time Santos went to an Italian restaurant where Tony Bish is hanging out. This time he's going to go to Santos's turf. And they're going to discuss, I guess, the stipulations or whatever is going to happen in their match In Your House. But it is going to be Tony D. It is going to be Santos Escobar, John Connie. We just don't know the stipulation yet. So what are you thinking here?
I mean, maybe something interesting comes out of our scenes from a Mexican restaurant segment tonight. But I think in the end, Tony D goes over in this feud. So give me Tony D at In Your House.
John Smith.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I'm going with Tony Biskadish.
Tony Biskadish.
But I wonder what the stipulation is going to be. Is it going to be something where nobody can get involved? Is it going to be a cage, or do they do like a strap match, or is it just like a back lot brawl or something, like they take it out to the alley kind of thing? Could it be 3-on-3? We don't even know.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Stacks and Two Dimes. Hey. Joe Gacy's henchman put a picture of Braun's family on Braun's locker from way back when he was just a puppy face gremlin. And then a backstage interview with Braun Breaker was interrupted by a video clip of Braun running an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown with blazing speed. I don't know if you saw that. He flew past everybody on that punt return. His father was supposed to be at the game, but he was over wrestling in Japan, so it's kind of a sore spot in Braun's heart. Fun story, I had a 76-yard. I played 1 year of football, had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. My dad wasn't there either because of work. But you know what? I had a nice dinner that night because of him, so be grateful. Duke Hudson, they had a match there on. Duke Hudson defeated Braun Breaker via disqualification after Braun chased away Joe Gacy and his henchmen, lost his temper, and hit Duke Hudson with a chair. If this happens at In Your House and Braun Breaker loses his cool and gets disqualified, Joe Gacy will win the championship. John Smith is their senior NXT correspondent. Giving Joe a shot here?
No, I don't see them putting the belt on him. I would like to see the belt come off of Braun Breaker at some point. I don't think it's necessary to have him hold it for an obscene amount of time. I think they've accomplished what they aim to do with him, but I don't think Gacy's the guy, not just yet anyway.
I completely concur. John Connie?
Yeah, make it unanimous. I just don't see the belt on Joey Snowflake.
All right, so that will do it for NXT's weekly premium live event In Your House. And we're going to go make the switch to WWE. And before we do, we are going to bring in John. John's going to get you off the screen just for 2 seconds. I want this man to be top shelf here. We have from There we go. I have a script holding on, Sean. Making a long-awaited return to the Central Wrestling Podcast from the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders Podcast, aka the Whip Show, Detroit's and mine favorite D-list celebrity, Deshaun Whipple. Deshaun, great to have you back, pal. How's everything going? How was your Memorial Day weekend?
What's going on, man? I just got back in town. I had all-you-can-eat sushi, so I'm feeling real good right now and real full. But I had to come hang out with you boys, though, man. We got the pro wrestling pick'em, so let's go, dog.
Yeah, it was a game time decision. Like, I think I messaged you on Saturday on a holiday weekend, and you responded right away with a smile on your face. I could see your smile through the messaging, and I appreciate you, pal. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to run down SmackDown real quick, and then we'll get into our Hell in the Cell picks. The New Day defeated Drew McIntyre and the Brawling Brutes, I think they're going by, after a Claymore on Ridge Holland, followed by a wasted opportunity for Xavier Woods to score a roll-up for SmackDown as he dropped an elbow on Ridge Holland before pinning him. Fun main event. I think we nailed that. Drew McIntyre was the guy that Sheamus hated. After learning that Raquel Rodriguez was getting another crack at Ronda Rousey, Shotzi was in the locker room trying to rally the troops again. Raquel, John DeConnie, it was a Champions Contenders match. Raquel getting a shot at Ronda Rousey, and it looked like Shotzi's motivational talk worked here.
Yeah, because we only got about 50 seconds of Ronda Raquel Part 2 before Shayna Baszler and Natty made their way out, attacked both of them. The match got thrown out. We go to commercial. And, of course, we're going to have a tag team match play. We come back from the break. We're already in the middle of Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez against Shayna and Natalya. And this one only goes about 3.5 minutes of actual TV time. God knows how long, it started in the break. And in the end, it's a Chingona Bomb, which apparently has now been renamed because they were muting it out the week before. They called it something different this next week. Anyway, Raquel Gonzalez gets the win with her finishing maneuver on Shayna for the 1-2-3.
Deshaun, Conchita Bomb. I don't speak Spanish. How's your Spanish, pal? I don't get the connection here.
Dog, I only did Spanish 1 and 2. After that, it was too much for me. No habla inglés. Instead, I give you about that much. Other than that, I'm dead weight. But I heard that too. I know they changed the name for whatever reason. Somebody just put in the comments the reason. Just more WWE-ish. Whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm starting to think, as you saw at the beginning of the show, Deshaun, I know you missed it. I was jamming out to Jinder Mahal's music as Shanky was. I'm starting a new movement here. Hashtag I stand with Shanky. Make sure you comment live. He was jamming out to Jinder's music before their match. Ended up losing the match to Los Lotharios after a springboard kick by Humberto Carrillo on Jinder for the win. Shanky was outside taking care of Angel Garza, who was harassing the ring announcer. I think we came back from a commercial break. They were harassing the ring announcer with their dancing, but there was a super kick that rivaled the Young Bucks. Couldn't get. Did you see what's his name's super kick, Shanky's super kick on the outside, Sean?
Yeah,
that was very Young Bucks-esque right there.
Very much so. Very much. It was a party.
Jinder blamed Shanky for distracting him. Shanky going old school with a talk to the hand, then turned his attention to the ring announcer Los Lotharios was harassing, and proceeded to do a mating ritual dance, I'm assuming, of his own for the ring announcer. But it's okay for Shanky to do it because he's the good guy here. So, again, I stand with Shanky. I like Jinder's music. Let's keep him rolling. Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, if I'm saying that correctly, I got my name changed. Yes, Ludwig Kaiser on my name change list here. They defeated Ricochet and Drew Gulak after a running foot stop by Kaiser. How about that? Ludwig Kaiser, the former Marcel Bartel, Deshaun, getting a big win on SmackDown this Friday.
I like the team. I like the unit, man. Again, with the WWE-ish with the name changes, but whatever. I like where we going with Gunther, though, man. I like that. Poor Ricochet, though.
And like I said, the countdown's on until we have a new Intercontinental Champion. But Gunther and Kaiser, they hit the gym hard before they put them on TV. They look absolutely incredible. Matt Cass lost. He's going to be back next week. No jokes, just an ass whooping for Baron Corbin. And then just certain things to Sean that just bring a smile to my face. It's when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are on the same page. And the friend, oh my God, hey, don't, oh my God, you're here. I can listen just random banter back and forth for hours. They're just brings a smile to my face.
Man, that liar pants on fire. I probably watched the clip on YouTube about 38 times, dog. It was, I'm sorry, Oos. Did I just say that? Yes! But it was great, man. Those guys, you can tell they've been homies for years, man. Great work together, man. And real quick, I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if it was JBL and I want to say Road Dogg. Both of them said they had a problem with them two guys when they were agents because they wanted everything their way. But when they proceed to do stuff that good, sometimes you got to let them do what they do and move out the way, man.
Yeah, they just the happiness that they had together when Kevin hugged them when Sami agreed, and then when they're good rivals, but when they're on the same page as friends, it's absolutely amazing.
Some folks just click, dog, and everything they do clicks.
Yep. Sami then went backstage, pleaded his case to the Usos about becoming an honorary member, and Jimmy agreed. So I think Sami's in for the time being. So let's see where it goes with that.
That's their cousin. Come on. It's their cousin.
Yeah, it's
Oos.
The in-ring promo with the new champs to start the show, thanking their tribal chief and then thanking the fans for 12 years of service in WWE. But they didn't need the fans. All they needed was each other because they are the ones. Interrupted by Nakamura challenging the Usos to a tag title match with Riddle, who stormed the ring and took care of them. They had last night on Raw, John DeConnie, if you want to run through this real quick, they had a Champions Contenders match against the Usos.
Yes, indeed, yes. Yeah, it was the Ronin and the Bronin getting together, and they would defeat the Usos by DQ when Jimmy just decided he had had enough of the match and took Riddle's scooter and whacked him with it. So afterwards, they were setting, Riddle was kind of out of the way for a second. They were setting Shinsuke up for a double Uso splash. Shinsuke kind of gave a jumping roundhouse kick to knock Jimmy off. Riddle recovered quick enough to get to the other corner and pull Jay off for a super RKO to end that segment, and the Ronin and the Bronin come out on top.
Yeah, it sounded like that they said they're looking for vengeance on SmackDown. I don't know if they're going to have this tag team championship honored on SmackDown, Deshaun, but do you think the Usos are going to lose it right away to these two?
Hell no, man. Hell no. Listen, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm a huge bloodline mark. I was there in Grand Rapids when they unified the titles. Ain't no way they're losing it this early, man. Especially when we got Roman, that we know his schedule is kind of changing right now. They're going to put a lot more behind the Usos, I believe, in the next couple months. So ain't no way in the world they're losing the belts yet.
I completely agree. Also, last night on Raw that wasn't Hell in the Cell related, Alexa Bliss defeated Doudrop after Twisted Bliss. And on Miz TV, where there was a huge announcement, Deshaun, I don't know if you heard the huge announcement, that Maurice will be on Raw next week to promote the series, the season premiere of Miz and Mrs. on USA Network. I ear to ear, absolutely great.
Hey, I'm not leaving the crib till next week because I don't want to miss it. I'm going to stay right here. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not even taking a shower. I'm just sitting right here.
The Street Profits were the Miz's guests after they had some fun at Miz's expense. The 24/7 title picture that spilled into the ring. T-Bar and Apollo Crews now part of this chase. Tamina hit a Samoan drop on Dana Brooke to win the title. Then she was quickly swerved by a jilted Akira Tozawa. Good for him. Who rolled her up. Check one for Akira Tozawa to win the 24/7 title. And then he got the hell out of there. So that will take us right now to double or nothing. Listen to me. I'm still amped about that show. Deshaun, was that not one of the best shows you've seen in a very long time?
I had a ball. I actually went to go see it. They show them at the movie theaters now. Went to go see it with people, and man, it was amazing, dog. People were complaining about how long it was. Hey, but it was worth it. Everything was worth it, man.
I did actually look it up. I think the show is about 4.5. The record is WrestleMania 35. 5 hours, 20 minutes. I was hoping Double or Nothing could pull it off, but didn't get the job done. So
show, man.
Here's Here are our WWE only standings. Ryan Joy, he went perfect at WrestleMania Backlash. Maggie May and John DeConnie right behind him. John Smith, Gary, myself, Travis. We're already playing catch up to the Joy family. They just do not miss when it comes to WWE pay-per-views. The Brock Lesnar rule might be in effect if Roman Reigns does not have to defend the title. Whatever match will main event will get the 5-point main event point value. All other title matches will be 3. Non-title matches will be the 1. Any match that's in Hell in a Cell. Right now we only have the 1. Usually we have 2, so I don't know if they're going to add anything last minute on SmackDown. Right now it's just Cody and Seth. That much will get a 10-point bump. The kickoff matches do not count. Right now, the perfect pay-per-view bonus is at 11, but if Cody and Seth actually end up main eventing this thing, that'll get bumped up to 15. And of course, as always, Hell in a Cell is sponsored by Hell in a Cell for all of your cell phone needs. I do not know. I believe the coordinates are there on the bottom of the screen. I do not know where this place is. It does not look like it's stateside. But Deshaun, I know you always got your cell phone worked on at Hell in a Cell.
Always, man. Nothing like Helena Cells, man. You see, we working on our Espanol right now, man.
Exactly.
We go back and find out about the man. I saw what you did there. That segue.
I think it's in Guatemala, to be honest.
Oh,
with you. I can't
well,
remember.
damn. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me, cancel culture. Sorry, my bad.
Becky Lynch started the show last night with an in-ring promo. She said she created a selfish entitled monster when she gave Asuka the Raw Women's title back in 2020 after Money in the Bank. Here comes Asuka calling Becky big time baby, prompting Bianca to come out and say, girl, So Becky took a cheap shot on Bianca, which prompted a fight. Becky got tossed out of the ring. The match ended up being Bianca defeating Asuka after reversing Mahi Straw's cradle into the Raw roll-up. Check one for Bianca. Post-match attack by Becky Lynch. So we have a triple threat match. I'm actually genuinely excited for this, Deshaun. I kind of half wanted to see this in the cell. I think they could pull it off, but it looks like they're just gonna beat the crap out of each other in a no DQ type of match because it's triple threat.
Yeah, agreed. Are we throwing out our picks now? Or are we gonna wait for it?
Go for it. No, who do you got, pal? Let's do this.
I like the trying to put something behind Asuka again. But right now, Bex ain't doing her thing. I'm going with the EST, man.
James Wheeler agrees with it. He's got Bianca Belair retaining, and then we get to see more Becky versus Asuka, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's where it's going to go. I'm wondering who's next for Bianca. That's why I was leaning towards Asuka, but it seems like Asuka and Becky is the better bet here to break off to the side. So give me Bianca retaining.
John Smith.
I actually like Asuka to win this one by pinning Becky, and then Bianca, she's protected, and then somebody can attack her or something the next night on Raw, and then she's distracted with something else, and then she's not going after the title for a while, and then we got Asuka and Becky fighting over the title.
That'd be fun going into Money in the Bank and SummerSlam weekend. That'd be a nice little build up for SummerSlam. Ezekiel and the Mysterios defeated Kevin Owens and Alpha Academy after a double 619 into a spinning suplex by Ezekiel on Chad Gable. Kevin Owens, I believe the word they described him now, is unhinged. He's lost his damn mind. He's had enough. He's going to be fighting Ezekiel this Sunday. Sneaky match right here. I'm intrigued. I can't remember the last time. Okay. I know they're not the same person, but I can't remember the last time Elias was on a pay-per-view, let alone Ezekiel, John Smith. So what are we thinking here?
It's got to be Ezekiel in this one. I'd love to see this one in the cell too. I think it's so heated already that they could get away with putting it in the cell. But I think they're not going to do that, of course. But yeah, I got Ezekiel winning this one, and Kevin Owens just never being able to get over it.
John DeConnie, who do you got in this one? I forgot what I was going to say.
I think if we get a second cell match, it's probably going to be Corbin and Moss. But I'm going to go with Ezekiel here. But I don't, this obviously isn't for a title. This isn't for a number one contendership. This is all about the pure entertainment value of Kevin Owens' meltdown. So if the payoff isn't Damian Sandow showing up and pretending to be Elias, then this whole angle will have been worthless to me.
What I want to see, Deshaun, I wanted to see at some point, I want to see Ezekiel come out with like a fake beard saying he's Elias, and then like, oh, I'm just kidding, I'm still Ezekiel. Just completely just send Kevin Owens over the edge.
Man. And I got to agree with everybody. It's definitely going to be baby brother. It's going to be the younger brother coming out on top, man. We got to, with Kevin Owens being unhinged, like we talked about earlier, he got so many ways he can go. So a win doesn't matter to him right now. We got to keep Ezekiel hot, man. So we definitely going with younger brother.
That's exactly what I'm going with Ezekiel as well. I don't, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, Deshaun. I don't think this whole Ezekiel thing works if it's not Kevin Owens doing this.
Absolutely, totally agree.
All Kevin Owens making.
I don't think anybody can play off that role as good. I don't think nobody.
Mustafa Ali defeated Tommaso Ciampa via disqualification after Theory pulled Ali off the top turnbuckle, proceeded to beat him down. A win is a win. Ali, I guess with that win, was granted a United States title match, and Theory's going to give it to him right away, which Theory made short work Mustafa Ali by crotching him on the top turnbuckle, followed by an ATL for the win. Post-match, Postman Pierce said that Mr. McMahon was impressed by the way Theory beat down Ali in such quick fashion. Then he wants to see it again, but this time in a fair fight with Ali getting some time to rest. So John DeConnie, the youngest ever United States champion in WWE history, and I guess what nobody's saying is the 100th United States champion in that company, in that belt's lineage. Theory is going against Mustafa Ali in Chicago, where Ali is from.
That is a significant part of the storyline, although it was just kind of mentioned in passing on TV. And quite frankly, this whole Theory thing, I just don't know. I don't know what their plan is for him. Obviously, he's a blue chipper. He's the future, this, that, and the other thing. But every time it seems like he's Vince McMahon's guy, and Vince McMahon's going to allow him to go out there and be the heel that he is and get over. Vince does something like, well, now I want to see it fair. I want to see a rematch. Like, I'm sure Theory would have been fine with saying, like, look, I beat him. Sure, I might have beat the hell out of him through a commercial break beforehand and then just made quick work of him. But, it's over. I'm done with him. No, Vince wants to see this one in a rematch. He wants to see it fair. What the hell is this storyline with Vince and Theory? Is he his boy? Does he love him? Or does he, love to hate him because he's torturing him? It makes no sense, but Theory's not losing, even though it's Chicago. The 100th United States champion retains here.
Deshaun, tough promo to follow there.
Man. Well, I'm in total agreement. I'm going with Theory, and I'm going to tell you why. One, you just said it, because they're in Chicago. WWE historically likes to make a fool of somebody in their hometown. They got to teach a lesson. And don't get it twisted. Behind the scenes, WWE is still going to make Ali pay for what he was trying to get out of his contract. They're going to beat him down a little bit first before they ever push him back up, man. So we going with Theory on top.
John Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say this has more to do with them crapping on Ali than bringing up Theory. I think Ali loses at home.
Do you need a squash just to prove a point? They can't give him a squash. I want to see Ali go. I want to see this match. Actually, I'm intrigued on how this match goes, but I got Theory all the way as well. There was a contract signing last night for the handicap match that ended in a brawl, of course, just like they all do, where Bobby and Omos took they looked Royal Rumble ready last night. They took every single security guard and threw them over the top rope with both feet touching the floor. So they look good to go come January. Then Cedric jumped Lashley from behind, allowing Omos and MVP to beat down Bobby, but Bobby turned it around at the end, spearing Omos through a table that Omos had set up. So due to the match that MVP won last Monday night, they got to choose the stipulation to this, and MVP chose to get involved. So ballsy move by Montel Vontavious Porter there, Deshaun.
Yep. And with that being said, and this is probably one that could be a bit of a question mark to me, but I'm going with that handicap team. I'm going with that MVP. And I know WWE, I believe they want to run with the ball with that guy. I believe they're going to pull it out with him. Bobby Lashley, you always can build him up and down. You can always build him back up. But I definitely think they're going to go with MVP on this one in Omos.
All right, James Wheeler's going with the almighty John Smith.
It is a handicap match, but it just gives them MVP to take the fall. So, yeah, I'm going with Bobby also.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, Cedric Alexander, he's never too far behind these days, John McConney.
That is also true. So, yeah, it looks like everything. It looks like it's almost a 3-on-1 against Bobby, which would almost tell you, well, they're setting Bobby up to, make this incredible victory out of it. But, they just put MVP with Omos. That's got to be for a big push for Omos because he needed that mouthpiece. So, you can take Bobby off TV for a couple of weeks, give him a nice half a summer vacation. And when he comes back, he's still Bobby freaking Lashley. He can go right to the top of the card, in the blink of an eye. It's going to be Omos going over here at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I got Omos and MVP as well. It's as simple as this. It's a numbers game. It's MVP's. MVP picked the stipulation. He's got a plan. He's gonna get this done. I'm sure Cedric will be involved. But yeah, I think this is gonna be Omos MVP. Liv Morgan, I spy a Jersey girl. She got the win. All right, Liv got the win on Rhea Ripley with a backstabber. Post-match attack by Damian Priest on AJ Styles. But then when Priest turned his attention to Liv, which prompted Finn Balor to thwart the attack, allowing all three of them to get shots in on both Priest and Ripley. With Edge nowhere to be found, we have a mixed tag team trios match. Just like we had a double or nothing. I don't say they're ripping off AEW. I'm sure this was in the game plan the entire time. But we got Judgment Day against AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, John DeConnie.
First of all, Al, it's the Judgment Day. But
The Judgment
more
Day. I have that
importantly,
it's on the ticker on the bottom. It does there.
Having just put this team together, and the fact that we kind of have rumblings that there might be another member coming to the Judgment Day, so I'm going to say the Judgment Day gets it done here, and whether or not it's somebody from the team turning within AJ, Finn, and Liv, I don't know. Probably, but either way, I think the good guys lose, and the Judgment Day gets the W.
I guess James Wheeler, here to go to Sean. This is one of my favorite things happening in WWE right now, and one of the reasons why I'm loving Raw. I've been enjoying every bit of this storyline. Can't wait to see how it turns out.
I'm in agreement, man. Ain't no way the Judgment Day is losing right now. Unfortunately, Liv, I know that's your girl. That's the weak link, dog. You can keep Balor, you can keep AJ, but Liv is the weak link. The Judgment Day go up.
John Smith.
Yeah, they're not going to lose their first match as a unit. I got the Judgment Day winning.
Yeah, I completely agreed with that. And then, unless they add something on Friday, I'm assuming this is going to be the main event because this is the only Hell in a Cell match on the card. There's an in-ring promo with Cody recapping. He's not a very big Cody Rhodes fan there. Recapping the recent history with him and Seth, but here comes Seth walking through the crowd saying he doesn't want Cody in WWE. You don't take the sledgehammer to the throne, then come back and try to take the throne from me. Absolutely love that quote right there. They ended fighting around the crowd. They'll fight in the cell this Sunday. And then during this melee, I spy Curtis Axel. I saw the Daivari brothers. Like I saw Arya and Sean Daivari trying to break everything up. And I want to say, where is the comment here? James, he was throwing something. Yeah, today's headlines: Arya Daivari, Curtis Axel back as producers as they tried to restore order between. Yep. And then we had one more note from James. Let's just get his. There we go. He left out a comment. So there you go. Anyway, Deshaun, Hell in the Cell. Do you like these type of matches? It's a yearly tradition.
I do.
We have two veterans in this. Regardless, I mean, these are two correct guys, I believe, to pull this match off.
I do. I'm a big fan of Hell in a Cell. To be honest, though, I don't even think they should have had a third match. I mean, Cody beat him twice. I know the whole grab the tights thing, but they didn't really play that up a whole lot. But I'm going to go. Well, we got to go with Cody. I'm going with Cody. Cody ain't taking the L. But the only thing I want to, before I get out of here, I want to ask where you guys are thinking they're going to go with Seth if he does lose a third time against Cody. But right now, to answer the question, I'm going with Cody.
All right, John the Connie, I guess if you're picking Cody, what do we do with Seth here?
Yeah, it's really tough. You know, I said, a month ago, more than a month ago, I thought that they were going to put the world titles together, but then I thought they would do so. They would give Raw a champion. You know, we had this inkling that Roman was going to be off TV for a good portion of the summer. And, you got 3 hours of Raw on Monday, and everyone who's on there is, other than Theory, the guys aren't fighting for anything. There's no title there. Now the tag titles are gone too. So if there was some kind of structure in place where we're going to have some mini tournament to crown a new champion, I would say maybe Seth takes it here. If that would put him into the finals or something like that, and then Cody could come back later. But with really nothing on the line, I think you got to keep Cody's momentum going forward because it feels like he's going to be a champion at some point. You brought him back, with all the pomp and circumstance. So I'm going to go with Cody. But getting to the question, the secondary question at hand here, I have no idea what you do with Seth Rollins. Do you take him off TV for a little while? You give him a little break? I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to repackage him. His ridiculous suits and his, Joker cackle are working for the guy. But you lose 3 times to the same guy, and there's nothing else going on that brand. I honestly have no idea what you do with Seth next.
Yeah, John Smith, Seth tends to have these little, I don't want to say hissy fit mental breakdowns. Like I don't know why the Survivor Series that he lost, and that's what caused him to snap at the beginning of all this. He doesn't take losses well. And I said it's 3 in a row. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row in one season. Cody Rhodes looking to do it.
Well, the way I see it is that Seth is the WWE guy, and when it's all said and done, the WWE guy comes out on top. And also, Cody is trash. So, for these reasons, I am picking Seth Rollins. There's no way you could have him lose 3 times to the guy that left and talked all this crap and then comes back and then just starts to just win everything. No, and it's not even has nothing to do with my bias against Cody because Seth Rollins is my second most hated wrestler in wrestling. So, a winner is me because I get to go to bed early on Sunday night.
There you go, John Smith. The winner is you, Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I got Cody. Cody's. He's not going to lose until Roman drops him, and I hope Roman's the one that does it. So that'll do it. Here are we have a competition that we started at the beginning of the year, Deshaun. I'm sure you heard us talking about it. The Raw roll-ups. We've been keeping track this calendar year. These are the ones that we had this week. Like I said, Britt Baker, first time in history, 2 roll-ups in 1 week. First on Toni Storm. Then again in the finals on the pay-per-view against Ruby Soho, who got one on Statlander. Trey Miguel, Bianca Belair, Akira Tozawa. They all got it. So here are the roll-up standings after last week. Raw, AEW tied them going into last night, and Raw said, girl, Bianca Belair is the one that took back the lead. Xavier Woods still in the lead with 5 due to his new finisher being the Raw roll-up. Good for him. And then Tamina notched up her 3rd. She broke a 16-way tie. She's now tied with Butch chasing The Miz. The Raw roll-up. You get what we're talking about here? You just stay down for no reason.
Nice.
So that's where we're going into next week. And let's get some announcements in here. Before we get back, we're going to do early Money in the Bank predictions. So, guys, get your thinking caps on while I roll through this. The primetime rundown. There we go. Primetime rundown. Regular season programming has concluded and will resume its second summer schedule, which begins Monday, June 6th at 7 p.m. Join Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Mike Zabo as they bring you the world of sports on Monday nights through the thick of the summer, right here on the Eastern Observer. And as I've been keeping people up to date, we are in we do the NHL Bracket Challenge. And look at what we have here. Due to the win last night by the New York Rangers in Game 7, that doesn't put me in first place yet. But if you look at that points possible column, and if you look into the next round, I am the only one that has all my teams still remaining. I got the Rangers beating Tampa Bay. I'll take Colorado over Edmonton, and I am in a nice seat right now, ready to take home the cup for the Eastern Observer. Colorado and Edmonton, they start their series tonight. The Rangers and Tampa Bay, they begin tomorrow. Deshaun, I know you're a Detroit guy. I know you got to be, there's some hockey in you somewhere.
A little bit, just a little bit, man. I'm 41 years in the game, so I got some Red Wing joy in me, dog.
There you go. Sergei Fedorov, Steve Yzerman, the classic Red Wings.
Yes,
Those are some great teams you got to watch over the years, pal. I'm sure you had a great time with that.
Hey, yo, Darren McCarty comes to all the independent shows in the area, dog. So I'm saying, he comes to all the local wrestling shows, bro. I was just with him this past Saturday at XICW. Shout out to them, man.
Nice.
Yes.
Darren McCarty, man, he used to mess people up, man.
Oh, yeah. He's just as wild in the wrestling ring, bro. Just as wild in the wrestling ring, man.
The Black Cats NYC, the official band of the Eastern Observer. Please check out their new album, Free Cake. Anywhere you can get music, if you go to YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, any type of music provider, you can get the Black Cats NYC's album, Free Cake. It's out now. Play loud. As always, the Central Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the Central Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe, and guys, she will like it too. Join us back here next week, episode 104 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. We will be recapping In Your House. We will be recapping Hell in a Cell. AEW is going to be turning over, I guess, a new season of their own. Right? I guess Hell in the Cell, Double or Nothing. I mean, Deshaun, that was as close to a WrestleMania card as you could possibly get. We kind of don't know what their big show was going to be, but I think after last night, I think it's settled right now. Double or Nothing is their big show. So absolutely incredible. So they're starting over their new season as well. So as we end the show today, as I said, early Money in the Bank predictions with Hell in the Cell this Sunday. I can only make the assumption that on Raw, we're going to start qualifying matches. So, Deshaun, we'll lead with you. Men's, women's, both, either or. Early Money in the Bank winners for the show.
It's such a toss-up, man, but I'm throwing it out there right now. No more man down here, Mr. Smith, is not a fan. But you know what I'm going with. The American Nightmare. Some way, somehow. Why not? Let's give it to him.
He was the one, before they changed venues, John DeConnie, Cody was the one walking around Allegiant Stadium trying to promote it. I guess there's a UFC event that night as well. Did Vegas book itself? I know the UFC fight wasn't at Allegiant, but...
Hey, if we lucky,
Vegas can handle it. Maybe not necessarily in a football thing.
Yeah.
If we lucky, MJF find a way out of his contract and sneak on over there, man. I know that's dream booking. I know that's fantasy booking, but hey, Maxwell, go ahead and leave the little leagues, baby. Come to the big leagues, baby. You know you want to, Maxwell.
Do you think they would just trade it up, like even trade right now, MJF or Sasha Banks?
Dog, if it was possible, they would. But man, I know that Maxwell would breach a contract, but Tony got too much money, dog.
Yep. John Smith, any early Money in the Bank predictions for you?
No, unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with this Cody Rhodes situation. I think that's what it's leading up to. As long as he doesn't actually beat the tribal chief in any fashion, as long as he still loses, then I'm fine with it. And I also like Sonya Deville to win the women's one.
That would be awesome. I forgot about her. She wasn't my women's pick. I'm actually thinking Rhea Ripley. I think with the new Judgment Day and everything, I think her walking around and getting that women's title would be huge for her with the new gimmick and everything. Start over fresh. My original thought, I guess, was Drew McIntyre. I think you got to do Drew and Roman at some point. I guess maybe you don't need Money in the Bank for that, but I guess if everyone's going Cody and that's the thing, right? As long it doesn't matter who it is, Sean. I think exactly right. The Tribal Chief, John Smith, Tribal Chief. He hasn't had to deal with it, right? He hasn't had to deal with the Money in the Bank since he's been champion because Big E cashed in on whoever it was. That was on a different show. I forget who Big E cashed in on. Lashley.
Lashley.
I'm pretty sure it was Lashley. Yeah.
Deshaun, anything you want to promote? I know I just did my promotions right now for the Eastern Observer, the Whip Show podcast. When are you guys back on?
Make sure you check it out, Whip Show podcast. We drop my show, The Whip Show, where we interview stars from past and present, WWE, WCW, ECW. We got Control Your Narrative guys coming on the show. Yeah, I know. We're going to talk to them. We're going to find out about Control Your Narrative. We're going to talk to them about that. We got all them, and the Whip Show podcast network has grown. Now we got 2 other great contributors. On Wednesday night, we got the Coach's Corner. He's a former pro wrestler himself. He kind of gives his take on the wrestling world. He don't do no interviews. He just kicks y'all fans right in the teeth. That's just how he go. Then we got Railing with the Word heavyweight champion, Mr. Joe Walker. He takes his introspective and perspective in the wrestling world. So make sure you check it out. Subscribe us to Whip Show Podcast on YouTube and all podcast platforms. We got 3, 4, 5, and we even got a special guest podcast that's going to be joining the team soon too. And I'm going to give you one word, Maya Villa. Not that one, but he's part of the family. He's coming up soon, but I'm not going to announce him yet.
All right, sounds good. It sounds good. And they say also follow the show on Twitter as well.
Yes.
I just put the address up right there. All he does is yell at Tommy Dreamer and Bubba Ray. It's actually pretty funny. So
all day long, man.
That's all he does is yell at Busted Open Radio. So it's always a good read.
All day, man.
John Smith, anything from you before we get out of here?
Cody better not win 3 times in a row. I hate him.
John DeConnie.
Just thanks to Deshaun and to Travis for joining us today, and that's about it. More wrestling. 2 big shows this weekend. Going to be another good weekend of wrestling.
It's going to be great. Yeah, Deshaun, thank you very much. John Smith, John DeConnie.
One more thing before you go, Mr. Karl. Also, everybody out there, make sure while we supporting these big promotions, support your local independent wrestling. I'm a former independent wrestler. They actually got me back out there this past Saturday locally. Support independent wrestling, man, for real. That's where you're going to find your future stars at before they become stars and they're too big, and then you're going to have to pay them $50 for an autograph at WrestleCon.
There you go. Thank you very much, Deshaun, for joining us this week. It's always great to have you back. Probably should stop by more often. Love to have you. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. Gary, get well soon, pal. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Roll-ups. Roll-ups everywhere.